Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel Shunt. My name's Simon. If it's the first time you're here, then hello. If you've been here before, welcome back. Let's go and have a look what I've been up to. Fairly early on, I knew that I wanted a lot of mainline track, of these 4 tracks going all the way around. Slow up, slow down, fast up, fast down, constantly running round. That doesn't leave a lot of room in here for scenics really, other than mainline scenics, but I wanted to bring in maybe a station, TMD, whatever, not 100% sure on any plans of that yet, but I knew I needed some areas where I would at least need a station. So the only thing I can really do is to bring a second level onto the layout. So while I'm laying down all this mainline track around the outside, I'm giving it some thought on how I can get up to the next level. One of the a thing that was pointed out to me quite early was that if I just have one point where I go up onto the second level and one point that I go down, I would constantly have to cross 4 tracks, you know, to go up or down. So what I've decided to do is have 2 routes up and 2 routes down. Well, that's the plan anyway. So here are the 4 mainline tracks. And just here I've put a point in as you come off that corner that then is going to slip onto a track at the side and then go up onto the next platform. I was thinking that I need some kind of ramp system in place and wondering how to build that out of wood or various other materials. And then I looked down here where a couple of weeks ago I put some 2-inch tray in and thought, hang on a minute, might be able to use that. So here is a length of 2-inch cable tray. It's lightweight metalwork that has a little lip either side, and I thought because it's got holes that will take some kind of thread to suspend it from a ceiling, or in this case lift it up from the baseboard, I wondered if I could adjust the height of this and use it to run the track inside. So I've not tried it yet, so I'm going to do some experiments and see what sort of incline I'm going to need to get up to the height of level 2. I got some more of the strips that I've been using to put the tracks on. I'm going to pop those in here. Just trim that off at the end. And then run this track in there. Then do some tests on what sort of percentage I need that the locos can go up with, maybe, you know, seven coaches on, or whatever, 7, 8, 9 coaches. So I'm just going to raise this up with some wedges and see what that looks like. At this end, I'm going to have to, the height of this next level is at least going to have to be a loco plus, you know, 2 or 3 centimeters, inch, 2 inches, whatever. So if I block this end up, I've got a load of these pieces of acrylic. So if I block this end up to clear that HST, that's sort of going to be the minimum that I'm going to need sloping up there. So here I am with a load more of these acrylic pieces, and I'm going to wedge underneath this just to give it some support, lay some track in there, and then test a loco going up. I'm sure I could do a mathematical calculation for this. I can't remember if somewhere I've seen whether it's 1.5 or 3% incline. Again, I'll have to do a bit of research on that, or maybe some testing, but for now it's going to be put it on and see. So I'm going to wedge this all the way down just to give it some stability. Probably going to need a few more pieces of plastic. Okay. Right, that seems to work. Just get a bit of track in there. Got some test pieces of track, and then we'll get some power on it and see if the loco climbs. Right, track in, loco clearance. I think we're still going to have to go a little bit higher, but of course we can turn the corner and make a bit more of a climb. I've got a 58 class here, and it does run quite well. This it is quite a powerful. Again, it's on DC. That's on. I think we need a couple of plates underneath there. Let me get those. A bit of support. Okay, it's not laying down very flat, but I think for this experiment it will be fine. Thawed a couple of days, and I've taken away the grey packers that I had under it and made on the laser cutter these small stands. Let's see if we can get a bit closer with these. That basically sit underneath this cable tray, screw to the base, and then support this structure. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in at the minute, and I've made some ones that will slightly smaller in size, and each one goes up in 5mm increments, so that will give me that lift to the second platform, I'm hoping. So platform level. So yeah, let's get a few more of these in and just see what they look like. These have got a protective film on, but before I put the final fix down, I will take all of that off, which I've finished this in a matte black. While I'm putting the last ones of these down, I'll show you some footage of the laser cutting these out. Right, these are all in place now, and I haven't given them all their final places because I've got to make this marry up with the next level, and this may change, and I may have to put packers underneath, move them around, whatever. But for now, it is holding this in place, even though it's barely rigid in its own right. It does hold them up. So for now, I'm happy with that. I'm going to fix these, glue these in place. Acrylic needs an adhesive that actually melts both surfaces together, so it sort of fuses it. So they will be like stands. So yeah, that should work. Progress things over here a little bit more. I want to build a shelf in here with a backing board there, so I can put any electronics that needs to be fixed or power supply units. So I want some 5-volt power for chargers, and probably around the track 5 or 3-volt for lighting and things like that. So rather than using any kind of voltage reduction, I'll just have a 3 and 5-volt power supply here, and of course 12-volt for anything else, excluding the power for the track, of course. But then I've got the DCC controllers and data cables that are all going to come down and be around this area here. So I want to get some kind of shelving in there, which I'm going to do now. Cut a piece of wood that's going to fit in here, hopefully. Again, scrap wood. A lot of the materials used on here, as I've said a few times, are recycled. So this was just a bit of MDF that I had kicking around. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of a support under there so it hits that beam. It takes a bit of weight, but that's going to be fine. I'm going to paint that black because I want everything under the layout to eventually be black, so that isn't a feature, I guess. And then got another piece of the same material to go into the back. And if you can see that in there, but I'll screw that in place and then fix the power supply units and stuff to it. Of course, I've got more room underneath if I want some storage or anything else, but I'm going to build the same over the other side, but have that then to house things like the airbrush air compressor and things that are more to do with modelling or repairing over that side, and then maybe some drawer systems around for other bits and pieces. Again, this desire that I've got to try and keep things tidy, or that doesn't seem to be working out fantastically at the moment, but it will do once I get some of these storage solutions in. And then I've also got under here a rack that will house the distribution of network cables for points or anything else that I need. So I'm going to have that, and again, keep the dust out. Probably put a small Wi-Fi router in it because the signal isn't fantastic, and bring a data cable from the main incoming router down here so that we've got the best signal that we can get. So that's the end of video number 10. Can't believe it's 10 videos already. And when I look back, I think there's been a bit of growth that's gone on in the quality of content, and obviously the layout really has come along, you know, in a short space of time. I don't get a huge amount of time to spend on the layout, and obviously making the videos as you go along does take more time as well. As of this morning, 520 subscribers, so absolutely amazing, and that sort of makes it all worthwhile that the content I'm putting out there is enjoyed by other people. So I know I sort of say this all the time, and a lot of YouTube channels say the same thing. You know, liking and subscribing is really important for growth. And you know, as someone who's creating content, you can measure, you know, how good the content is by feedback, comments, you know, everything else, liking, subscribing. So looking at the analytics of the channel, 67% of people, I think it was, don't actually subscribe to the channel, which if they did, that would make a huge difference to me. So liking and subscribing would really be appreciated. While I'm talking about other channels, obviously I watch a lot of YouTube channels, you know, and the model railway world is small and niche. So I think the more that we can share content that we find, you know, it's a benefit to everybody. You know, I'm not some kind of, you know, big influence. I've got a channel with 500 people, but if I mention a channel that I've been watching, then of course that opens something up. You might go, oh, I've not heard of that one. I'll go and have a look. Helps grow their channel, gives you more content. I think, you know, it's winner for everybody. So there's a couple I'm watching at the moment. One is called Random P. It's a guy in his shed, got a nice little layout, some good scenery going on. Another guy, A Leopard's Tail. This guy's down in his basement, he's doing all sorts of stuff down there, and again some quite interesting stuff being built and done. You know, there's sheds, lofts, you know, whatever, all over the country where this stuff's going on, and there are a lot of channels out there that, you know, you may not be aware of. You know, certainly I'm finding new stuff all the time. So yeah, if you want to go along and have a look, if it's for you, if it's not, it's not, if it is, it is. And again, we can all grow as a, you know, as a community. Really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.